Rev up your engines!
Travada says, Scotty's back. I wonder what's been up with all the live car talk. Okay, well, I'm here whenever I can, but unfortunately, we had a gigantic storm here in Tennessee, and it blew trees on people's houses, knocked down the power, knocked down the internet lines, and I can't broadcast anything. So you can't stop Mother Nature, but I'm back. That's why I was gone. It was all kinds of storms. Things blew down. The internet got knocked out. And I mean, I can talk on my phone on the internet, but I can't really get the computer to work with the internet, so I got to have the phone and the computer, and that's why I was gone. Chief says, Scotty got a 2013 Hyundai Santa Fe Sport, 112,000 kilometers. Supposed to be a lifetime tranny fluid, but after watching your videos, I was wondering, is it too late to change it now? No, go ahead and change it. That's 112,000 kilometers, so that's like what? I don't know, 70,000 miles. That's fine. Now, you don't want something with like 120, 140,000 miles. It might be too late then, but do change the fluid, and then change it probably about every 50,000 miles if you can. The weak transmissions, use the factory fluid and change it, and it'll last as long as it can, a lot longer than if you don't change it all, because their lifetime fluid means the lifetime of the transmission. So the transmission breaks, it's out of warranty, they don't care, then they'll sell you a transmission. Better to change the fluid. K. John says, is there a special way to bleed brakes on an FJ Cruiser? Like any vehicle, you can bleed them at the wheels if you have air near the wheels, right? Let's say you change the brake caliper, you bleed it at that wheel, right? But the problem is, let's say you get air in the system, got a leaky master or something, and it pumps air through the system, that has ABS brakes. And if you get air into the ABS system, you can't bleed the brakes yourself. I have special computers, I hook them up, and when I bleed the brakes, when air gets into the modulator system, I have to use that computer, and it gives you all kinds of steps. Press this, do that, press that, do this. It's a very complex. But if you're changing a part and you don't introduce air so that it gets into the brake anti-lock brake module assembly, you can bleed them like a regular one. Just go the farthest wheel, breathe the air, then the next farthest wheel in the back, then the right front, then the left front. You can do it yourself. But once air gets into that ABS system, you have to have a special computer like I have to operate the ABS system to get the air out of them. It's just all modern cars are like that. Elaine Ezra says, Scotty, I'm looking for a vehicle I can storm chasing under 15 grand. Something I can finance. All-wheel drive is nice, but not a requirement. My old friend Hank, you can look him up. He's one of the biggest tornado chasers in the world. He did it for a while with a Toyota Camry till somebody ran into it. Now he's got a Toyota all-wheel drive RAV4 that he got. Toyota makes great products, and they hold up. You know, it just depends on what you can find at what price range, but they can go many miles. And personally, I would not buy a new vehicle because you're chasing storms. It could get wiped out, and there goes your money down the toilet. You might as well get a used one, you know, and you don't care if it's got a few dings on the fenders. It's probably going to get hit by hail, and the windshield will probably get shattered. So look at the Toyotas. Haji says, what do you feel about power steering fluid with stop leak to stop a leak in a steering rack? Okay. A lot of the stop leaks I don't like, and they can clog things up. Now, power steering fluid can be upwards of 1,500 pounds per square inch pressure. That's a lot of pressure. Rarely will stop leaks even help. But if you want to try, use normal fluid and put 1 or 2 ounces of AT205 reseal. Sometimes I've seen that help. Just realize it's immense pressure. If it's got a serious leak, nothing but if it's the hose, replacing the hose, or if it's the pump, replacing the pump, we'll fix it with that kind of pressure if it's a big leak. Astro says, Scotty, how do you fix paint fade from the sun on an old Chevy truck? Well, it depends how bad it is, because all paint these days, it's coated with a clear coat that makes it shine. The paint's for the color, clear coat's to shine. If you can buff it down and there's still paint underneath, you can just re-clear coat it, spray it with the clear coat paint, and it'll look good. Now, if the paint itself shot, unfortunately, the only thing you have to do is sand it down to bare metal, prime it, and then paint it, and then clear coat it. That's the only way you can do it. But if the paint's still okay, I've seen guys buff them down, get rid of the clear coat, they're down to the base paint, the paint's still there, and then they re-clear coat them with the clear coat, and it works perfectly fine. Now, I painted a car once, Opel I'd never painted another car. It's an art. I can't paint cars. You got to know what you're doing. So you're probably better off paying a guy. Go to a good paint guy and say, can you buff this out and clear coat it, or am I going to have to do the whole thing, and see what the guy says? Shane says, I got an 06 Tahoe. Oil pressure's at 0. Engine struggles to start, shuts off when it does. Had no oil change before this. Replace the oil pressure sensor as well. Okay. If it's really 0, you put the new pressure sensor on and it still says 0. It doesn't mean there's no pressure. It could be the receiving unit. What I do if I were you is take the oil pressure sensor off, screw on an actual oil pressure gauge, or pay a mechanic who already has an oil pressure gauge to screw and see what the pressure is. If it is 0, you got a serious problem. You can't drive it. And it's probably already damaged. Means either your oil pump isn't pumping or something's broken inside the engine so the oil can't get through. You say it starts and then it dies right away. You made a problem already. Put a gauge on it first and then crank it. And if it's still 0, you're going to have to tear the engine down and probably serious damage has been done. If it was run with no oil pressure, a lot of times you're better to just forget it. Throw the engine away. Start with another engine, a used engine or a rebuilt engine. Don't try to fix yours, because if you have an engine that actually had no oil pressure and it was run, everything inside is going to be destroyed. Demolished. James Cushing said, how can I disable the security alarm on my 98 Ford Explorer? Previous owner put an aftermarket alarm and it keeps going off. Help. Okay, well, what you want to do is go to an aftermarket alarm and disconnect it. Generally what they do with those alarms is they take the wires on your car, follow the wires on the alarm, and they usually cut a wire off and then put the alarm in. Fortunately for you, the wires in your car are color-coded. So if, say, a black and white coded wire is cut, and there's the alarm hooked up to it, take the alarm wire off, find the other black and white wire from the Ford system, and put that together and get all the old Ford wires of the same color and reconnect them together, and it should work. I've taken off many alarms, the aftermarket alarms. They're all spliced in somewhere, and the old wires where they're cut, they're color-coded, just reconnect them. I've done it many times. It's not rocket science. You just follow the alarm wires and then just throw the old alarm that they put on off. Josh says, Scotty, how can I fix an 04 RAV4 with a problem? The short-term fuel trim is adding 29% and the P0420 code. Okay, if it's adding 29% fuel, that means it's running super lean. If it runs super lean, the catalytic converter will get hot and it'll trip that code. It might not have wrecked the catalytic converter yet. So why is it running lean? On a RAV4, one of the biggest reasons they run lean is because they get intake manifold gasket leaks. And then they suck air. And the extra air is mixed with the correct amount of fuel, but since it's extra air, it runs lean. Too much air, not enough fuel. Often it is that. Check the intake manifold gasket. That's a notorious one. But check for any hoses that have fallen off on the intake that suck air when it's idling. You got some kind of serious problem. Now, it could also be your fuel filter's clogged or fuel pump's weak. Not enough fuel will do the same thing. You'd want to test that too. But they're more known for intake gasket leaks. That's the most common one on those. Jacques J says, what does a red light 18 mean on my 95 Montero Sport? Okay, when the red light's on your automatic transmission, it means a transmission code has set. It means you have a problem in the automatic transmission system. Now, you got to pay a mechanic like me with a high-level scan tool. We plug it in, and we get the code or codes, and then we analyze to see what's wrong. Like maybe it'll have a code for solenoid B. Then you check solenoid B in the wiring. The wiring could be bad, or the solenoid could be bad. Then you start checking that stuff. You're generally going to have to see a mechanic unless you have a high-level scan tool to get the code to start to analyze. But it means there's a problem with the transmission system when that light comes on. Tyler says, if I change my back rotors, do I need to change the front ones? Well, not necessarily. Rotors warp when you hit the brakes. If your rear brake rotors are warped, you hit the brakes, the brake pedal will kind of go up and down a little. If your front rotors are worn when you hit your brakes going 60, the steering wheel will shake. So let's say you change the back rotors, the steering wheel isn't shaking in the front ones could be perfectly fine. They don't all wear evenly. They wear unevenly. Usually the front ones wear a lot faster than the back ones. So maybe you've had the front ones changed before, and now you're going to change the back one. You don't have to change all four. Then you can just change the worn ones out. It's totally normal. Nick H says, got an 07 RX 350. Code C1201 misfire on every cylinder. Please help. Well, if you have a misfire in every cylinder, you got a serious problem that affects it all. So more often than not, unless you got something like a blown head gasket, it is a fuel problem. Because if you have an ignition problem, usually it'll be only a few of the cylinders. If every single one's misfiring, it's often because it doesn't have enough fuel. Clogged fuel filters, a weak fuel pump, which you can pressure test, will do that. A bad mass airflow sensor can do that. If you're not a mechanic, you don't have a scan tool, tool, have a mechanic put the scan tool, check all that stuff to see what that is bad. And pray it's something simple like a clogged fuel filter, or maybe even just a bad fuel pump, and not something super expensive like a blowing head gasket, which will do the same thing. Derek Ashbell says, "Good afternoon, Scotty. Is it okay to rotate your own tires, or should you go to a professional?" Well, hey, anybody can jack up a car and move the tires around. And the problem is, a lot of times you take it to a shop to get your tires rotated, they use those air guns, and they put them on way too tight, that if you get a flat, you can't get them off. And if they put them on way too tight, they can actually warp the rotors and stuff. You want to get them on snug, you're better doing it by hand with a torque wrench and getting it perfect. Do it yourself. Why not? Anybody can do it. And a lot of times they put it on tight, too tight, and do it wrong. You do it yourself, you know it's done right, and you don't have to pay anybody. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.